Morning! Welcome back to another episode of CC Top Solutions. We're making progress on the Ram Charger, but we're going to have to take a little time out. I'm downsizing. Sort of. And I'm getting rid of a 1984 Alfa Romeo Spider that somebody wants to buy and use as a parts car. In order to make that happen, I want to take some parts off of it and swap them over to my 88 Alfa Romeo Spider Graduate, which is going to be a future revival. So today what we're going to do is we're going to film that whole process. We're going to swap the wheels, steering wheel. That's basically it. But it should be an adventure. So come on! Step one with all projects, pay a nice little visit to Harbor Freight. Let's go for a spin. And we're off. You always got to shift pretty slow on that second shift or else it grinds. I think that's just an Alfa Romeo idiosyncrasy. It's all part of the fun. Here we are, just arriving, good old Harbor Freight. Oddly enough, I just gassed up, and this thing's starting to behave a little funky. I wonder if I kicked up a little sediment in the tank and it's going through the pump. A couple times on the drive here, it kind of lost power. I had to pull over and then power came right back. That happened before with my old Alfa Romeo, and it ended up being pieces of like an old leaf being sucked through the fuel pump, the in-tank pump. We're here. All right, we arrived. We're at my other garage in South Jersey. What we're going to do is we're going to swap the wheels from the blue car, which I'm selling, to the black car, which I'm keeping. And what I'm going to do is revive the black car. It's been sitting here for 10 years, I guess, and probably sometime next spring I'll get into this and get it going again. The engine definitely had issues. It smoked like crazy, but that was cool. That was just how I got rid of my used motor oil. But what we're doing today is swapping the wheels. I'm getting the ROH wheels off of the blue Alfa because I love them and putting them onto the black Alfa, and I'm swapping the original magnesium wheels off the black Alfa back onto the blue one and then selling the blue one to somebody who's going to use it as a parts car. So the first step of really doing this, we also need to swap the steering wheel. This should just pull right off. Oh, it feels, there we go. Yeah. All right, that's easy enough to pull off. Oh, huh. That should be a 22 millimeter. Once that nut is off though, not sure what I would pull off of. I mean, normally you would pull from the center and, oh, I see. You would hook into the threaded holes and the lower left there, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get on it. So we're gonna try real quick. 22 millimeter impact socket, stick that right into here. It's on there, and all right. Well, we got the nut off, nice and simple. Oh, you know what? This almost looks like there's 4 screws around the perimeter here that are holding this whole assembly in place. See them? Oh, I see, and there's how the horn contactor makes. Oh, isn't that interesting? Here we go. Oh, hold on. It's a little less conventional than I'm used to. So the way they have this horn contactor set up, sorry about the poor lighting. I did not bring any of my drop lights, so this is it. So look, check it out. Here's your metal contactor for the horn. When you hit the horn, it just touches. That's how the horn actually goes. But I think if I unscrew this, it'll pull this whole assembly out, and that might give me better access. Oh, wow, these are incredibly loose. This has to be somebody else's handiwork. I mean, I'm strong, but not that strong. All right, so the whole thing comes down. Huh, now this says 1987. So yeah, that's probably the original setup. It's just different than any other steering wheel I've ever worked on. And mind you, I have worked on Momo steering wheels, so you know, they're Italian. All right, well, let me see about putting a puller on here. You'll notice that on the drive here, we stopped at both Harbor Freight and Lowe's. That was because the steering wheel, you need 6mm fasteners to get it off. So here we go. I bought these at Lowe's, M6 1x60. So one's the pitch, 60 is the length. So these are the longest ones that Lowe's had. These don't look like they're going to be even close to long enough. But let's see what we can do here. No, they're not even remotely close to long enough. What else can we possibly do here? I have an idea. So, if you look at this, you know, this is metal here, metal here. You have to push from the center against this. So if I can wedge this piece behind the steering wheel, I'll be able to pull it out without using any fasteners. That's what I'm going to try and do. This gives you some idea how I'm doing this. See how I'm wedging this in? There. Oh, that's perfect. There. So with it wedged behind there, I'll be able to pry right out. Wow, this is so easy. All right, here's what we've come up with. We've gone ahead and taped our piece that allows, it goes on the end of our puller. We taped it right to this, so we should be able to slide the whole assembly in, then thread our puller rod right through and into its mate. And that should work. Let's give it a shot. All right, getting a little tension on it now. Now we'll go ahead and we'll hit it with a ratchet and just take it all the way off. Whoa. I don't know what that was, but something shifted. Oh, nothing shifted. That's it, it's loose. Boom. One take, piece of cake. Now, for those of you that are interested in what the inside of a Alfa Romeo steering wheel looks like, this is an 88 graduate. There you go. You want to see how the horn contact works? Here it is. And then here's the spring-loaded side. So basically that spring-loaded contact rubs against this as you're steering. Seen on the internet a couple times, people ask what this piece is. This goes right underneath your nut, and look, this catches the flat of the nut, and then you see on this side, that embeds into the actual hub. So basically that's a lock washer. All right, now let's see what it takes to take the steering wheel off of the 84. That was the 88, we just pulled it off. So 84, we'll start with just pulling this piece off. Bada bing. All right, here's our horn wire. Little grommet. This one will be much easier to pull off. And the reason why is this one has a dish to it, whereas the other one is kind of flat with just a huge standoff. Oh no, my keys are in the trunk. I'm just kidding, there they are in the ignition. Oh, just wedging this down here out of the way so we can take the nut off without damaging the horn wire. Then again, though, the guy's gonna use this as a parts car anyways. I don't know if he cares. Oh, wow, that came out really quick and simple. Same deal, has that locking tab on it. This one, I think we're gonna be able to pull much more conventionally. Just using our 6mm screws right there. Hey-o! We are gonna need some washers because our 6mm, they're pretty loose fit in there, so let me grab a couple washers. Alright, this should work just like a regular puller. You know, just put this thing onto here, put our 6mm in. Well, actually, we'll put one of them in initially. Slide this up and over. Yeah, this is going to work exactly like a conventional setup. The only difference was I had to buy the 6mm screws at Lowe's, and Put a couple washers on there just to make sure it fit good. All right, so we've got our steering wheel puller. These are pretty much equidistant from the center. Now all we have to do is get on here with a ratchet and just break the steering wheel free. One ratchet. Here we go. Oh my gosh, it's so tight. Oh, actually, this does have a little force to it. There we go, just broke free. One take, piece of cake. There we go, just get the puller out, and I'll take the wheel right off. There. Here we go, that's the two wheels. I don't know why they would ever move away from this design and go to this one, but they did. Although with this off, I guess you really could kind of clean the metal up and you know, make it like a cool, if this was like anodized gold or something, that could look kind of cool. Very fitting for an Italian car. And this is just the view for anybody that was interested to know what it looks like inside this style, the 84 Veloce. And you see how I stuck the wire right inside there? That was so it didn't get damaged while I was taking the nut out. Take note, you got the keyway in the shaft. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the 88 wheel back onto there. So there is a vital difference between these. Check it out. Here's where your spring-loaded contact goes for the horn in the 88. In this one, there's nothing there. So the horn, when I put this 88 wheel into here, this horn will no longer work. I'm gonna have to do something in the 88 when I ultimately put that other steering wheel in. See, there's that spring-loaded contact. So that is definitely a difference. So a pitfall to avoid, which I just got into on accident. I should put all this stuff back together. I'll do it later. So this is spring-loaded. This is your, somehow it's tied to your turn signal return. And here's a little keyway that goes inside there. And if you accidentally knock that out, that's a real pain to get back in. You basically have to put tension on this with a screwdriver and get this keyway lined back up pretty straight, and then put the steering wheel on without it falling apart. And I did all this just because I wanted to tuck this wire up into here so it didn't get damaged while I was putting everything back together. So that's a pitfall to avoid. Now the way I got this started, I just put the little washer inside first by hand, and I put the nut in and just got it started by going like that. That is swapped over. All right, now we're jacking this up to swap the wheels. What we're doing, we're just using our factory Alfa Romeo jack, and it's pretty cool. They have like a little, I don't know, like a little tab that sticks right up into the frame. You jack it from right there, get the wheel off the ground, and just unbolt and good to go. Something else kind of interesting, the jacks are different between the two. This is what you use in the 88, and there's sections in the frame that fit this perfectly. And this is what you use in the 84. And this also has a section in the frame that you basically insert your jack straight in and then lift. So I want to kind of show you guys what we're working with here. We are a little tight between the cars, that kind of sucks. But all right, so a lot of the time I make fun of Alfa Romeo because of a lot of like the quirky things, but this jack system is awesome. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. I'm hoping you can. It's fed by a 19mm socket, which is also the same size as your lug nuts. And you just, there's a hole right down here, which in the frame, you just jack it up right into that. Oops, missed. Come on, where is it? There it goes. Just make sure you're nice and level. There you go, up it goes. So this, you just stick this into a section of frame it's basically a bracket meant for it, and then you hand crank it up. I mean, what a cool jack idea. I mean, go Alfa Romeo, right? There we go. And then you just hand crank this thing up. See how it's coming right up? I mean, this is actually actually easier than using the impact wrench on the 88 style. I mean, this is a really cool setup for jacking the car up. Race inspired. Talking about me, not the car. Now let's do the same thing right here in the front. Here's our jack frame piece. That's all she wrote. Wheel swap complete. All 5 of them. Get it? Nah, we got the ones at the 4 corners. And then the steering wheel, 5 of them. But came out beautiful, I love it. I did not really finish it because, I mean, as you can see, this car needs a lot of work before I revive it, but I am a little bit more motivated now. I do remember now why I parked it. Passenger side frame rail is completely rotted away. You know what though? I don't know that we really need it. It drove fine without it before. I have no reason to think it won't anymore. This one, now it's got the 88 wheel in it, and it's got the original magnesium alloys back on it. Time to drive home and empty out all my stuff from here, and well, that's it for this car. Parted out. Tisk tisk. She was a runner too. Lots of fun in this car. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, even though it was pretty brief. I had a lot of fun filming it. I can't wait to get back to work on the Ram Charger sometime this week into next weekend. Have a great one.